Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. On Musk's social media platform X has moved the Karnataka High Court challenging the central government's creation and use of Sahyog portal. The Sahyog portal is an online platform for prevention, detection, investigation and prosecution of cybercrime in India. It brings together all authorized agencies of the country and all intermediaries on one platform to remove and disable access to any data being used to commit an unlawful act. Corp contends that the creation and use of the Sahyog portal regulates content unlawfully. Musk's X claims that the Sahyog portal circumvents statutory frameworks established by the IT Act and is harming its ability to operate in India. X claims that the centre is creating arbitrary censorship via the portal. So what is the balanced way forward? That is the core question that we're going to ask and discuss with our friends. Joining us on the show is Mr. Ashwini Dubey, advocate on record, Supreme Court. Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, also joins us on the program. Thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of this conversation. Khushbu Jain, cyber law expert, also with us on the show. Sumit, I'll begin with you. Well, you know, it's a valid thing to ask, right? If you are into content and if your job is to, arbitrate content and you're an intermediary when it comes to content, there will be, a certain sense of loss if you have a third party intervening on what you can show and what you cannot.
Vineet, thank you very much for having me on your show. It's a very important discussion. First of all, a good question. Second thing is, sir, fundamentally, tell me one thing. Look at Facebook, look at Google, look at YouTube, look at X, look at any goddamn platform. Do they have algorithms or not? If you have algorithms, how the hell do you claim you are an intermediary? You have algorithms to bring up things, to bring down things, to control everything on your platform. The moment you have something called algorithms, you are not an intermediary. Let's get the facade out and throw it out of the window. That's point number one. Point number two, in a US university, there's a student who you believe is supporting Hamas. You arrest him and rightfully deport him. Good, I support you for that. Because you think it's a national security here. They say you are a national security risk. Why do you think in India, your platform is above God or it is written by the Jesus himself? I mean, whatever you write there is completely truth and there's nothing called a national security risk with us. Remember when the Delhi riots were there, how many fake handles were made on Twitter by Pakistani ISI and they were instigating people? We have seen the Nagpur things happening recently. We have seen the people, how the social media was used to instigate people. We have seen in the Bangalore, we have seen in that. So when you have this national security risk for India, Indians and the government of India under the leadership of Modi ji will determine what is a national security risk or not. It's not a businessman called Elon Musk. He might be a great American or a patriotic American. I respect him for that. But here he's just a businessman. Neither he runs a Dodge here. Neither he's the right-hand man of the Indian president or prime minister. Neither he's here to streamline the things. He has to just act and do what a businessman is supposed to do. And this is how India wants to function. If India wants to function like that, we have hostile neighbors on our right, we have hostile neighbors on our left. We are fighting an 8-front war. I don't want to get into fronts. I've gone them in detail before. So when we are fighting this week, how can you come and say I'm intermediary, I want to put anything and everything, you can't stop me, I will not cooperate with the government. If you're not interested in the market of India, dunya bahut badi hai. Go to China. By the way, you're banned in China. Go to wherever you want to go. If you want to be in India, you have to go by the Indian rules. And you run a channel today in India. You have some 20 odd channels in your network. Tell me, doesn't those rules apply on you? They do apply on you. So why does Elon Musk think he's special? When he wants to come with a manufacturing, he's special. He wants to get a car from China and sell in India because he's Elon Musk. When he wants to start X, he again needs special permissions. Where does this fiasco or where does this supremacy come into him? I mean, what does he believe? If he's the richest man of the world, he can set the rules of the game. And he might be close to President Donald Trump, which he is. That gives him some proximity within America. I don't think that gives him any proximity within India. India will do what is in the best interest of India. And Mr. Sharma, who runs your network, he's an MP. He's a member of parliament. If he is governed by these set of rules, being a lawmaker himself and the owner of 20 odd channels, what makes Elon Musk think he's special and he will not go by these rules? He will not appoint a nodal officer. He doesn't want this. He doesn't want this. I mean, it will be a time, Vineet, when it will become something like China. My way or highway, take it or leave it. It's up to you. You don't want to be here. No problems. Dunya bahut badi hai. You want the Indian market, you want the Indian audiences, you want the Indian money, but you also want to have your set of rules, your set of principles, your set of derivatives. Well, that is not going to work, and there is enough evidence how Twitter has been misused in the past. And Mr. Musk himself goes on record saying, about Parag Agarwal and what was that name, Miss Gade and others, how they were manipulating the platform, how Donald Trump was thrown out of the platform, and how the notion and how the narration against the Donald Trump was made using the same platform. When platform fundamentally has those capabilities or capacities to manipulate and tarnish the image, how do we today be sure that under Elon Musk it has become the gospel truth or it's the words of the Bible which we can't challenge? No, we as a country have every right to take whatever safeguard we think is important. India will be governed by Indian laws, Indian rules, which a democratically elected government of Prime Minister Modi has made. And it's up to you. You want to do business here, do it. You don't want to do business, you have a right to go to the court. Nobody is denying you for that. But again, you have to get over the superiority complex because you are Mr. Elon Musk and you own X. That is a very clear and subtle message which can be sent to this gentleman as loud and as clear as applicable here. You might have special discretionary powers in US, but we are 10,000 miles apart. You don't have those powers in India. This has to be made very clear to him. And as an Indian, as everybody, we want to send this message very clear.
All right,
and
all right.
We can live without Twitter. Nobody's going to.
Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee has also joined us. Ambassador Mukherjee, do you smell a sense of entitlement in this lawsuit? Did you feel that Elon Musk is perhaps overreaching? After Donald Trump came into the picture with trying to tell India on how to monitor and how to regulate content?
Well, naturally, he has a sense of entitlement. When he went to meet our Prime Minister,
he took his kids.
He took his kids and his third or fourth or fifth wife, I've lost count, and their nannies. So if you look at the photo on one side, we have our Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister and the Foreign Secretary and the record takers. On the other side is Elon Musk with his fourth or fifth wife and his several children, I've lost count again, and their nannies. So when he went to the Oval Office with his kid, who was cleaning his nose on President Trump's table, in clear view of all the cameras, so that President Trump the next day sent his desk for dry cleaning, I presume. That's what you do when such things happen. So naturally, he has a sense of entitlement. But as Sumit rightly pointed out, his sense of entitlement should be restricted to the shores of the United States of America, where a lot of Americans are also questioning his sense of entitlement, and several of his decisions, saying that some of them go against the American Constitution, some of them go against the rule of law under which United States is governed, etc. As far as we are concerned, we are a state which is governed by rule of law. We have rules and regulations for foreign entities, for foreigners, and for Indians. We have not made any discriminatory acts against Elon Musk. If he wants to do business with us, he has to do business with us the way we do business with other people. He is very respectful when it comes to respecting Chinese law, I'm told. I checked. He's very respectful with the Chinese government, and he never throws a tantrum or throws his hands around like he's trying to do with us. What he's trying to do with us is he's trying to bully us, thinking that since we have made some concessions with regard to tariffs or FTAs or whatever is perceived to be a concession, which actually it's not a concession, we are just being pragmatic, coming from the land of Chanakya. We are preparing ourselves in advance. But he may be thinking that we can be pushed around by him because we are worried that our security situation, which Sumit pointed out, is not very good right now. He may think that he can push us around. He will soon find out that this nation of 1.2 billion people, consisting of a very raucous democracy unlike China, is not to be pushed around. But we do very good business and we offer very good profits. If he wants to stay with us, he has to learn to do business with India, Indian style. If he doesn't want to do that, as Sumit rightly pointed out, he can take his wares elsewhere. He can take them to China, which right now is anathema to his boss, the President of the United States of America.
Absolutely. Ashwini, is there a is there a legal course available for a plea like this, whereby a sovereign country that's trying to keep peace available to all communities at all costs is disrupted because of a rogue social media post which is perhaps making money for the ex-cop?
Vinit bhai, it's a country parliament which has made a law. You are not a company or a channel or a social media platform registered in our country, you're just doing business here. You're an MNC registered outside the country, doing business, using our resources, can't dictate the terms. The fundamental rights, freedom of speech and expression, which very much often misinterpreted as per the own whims and fancies of those who misinterpreted it for their own benefits. Also, always says that subject to the law framed by the parliament, state legislature, public order, morality, or any notification of the government. Shreya Singhal's case too, this is being argued time and again, which says that you have a right to hold opinion, but that is also subject to the law. Now, the one of the leading judgment of the Supreme Court, Justice K.S. Puttaswamy, which talks about the right to privacy, that also says if anything is against the agency or against the law, against the public order, morality, anyone is bound to inform to the agency. Agency can take it out. How Elon Musk can dictate the terms? Now, point two. On the one hand, you claim the safe harbor protection under the law, and on the other hand, you say, being an online platform, running a business in our country, that any illegal content, if court of law has also said that it is illegal, you will not take it out. Number one, it is not available to the government to modify it. Number two, your redressal officer will not take it and no action shall follow. You can't have two sets of law. Number three, Vinit bhai, you remember the time and again we talk about the International Covenant of Civil and Personal Life and Article 19 and 20 of that also said that any propaganda for war, any propaganda which is being published shall be prohibited by the law. That's an international covenant. Then why a law framed by the government of India, which is in the best interest of the country, and that too we have seen in the farmers' protest, where more than 300 Twitter handles were being operated for and on behalf of the ISI. We have seen in Delhi Royd's case, where more than 500 accounts were being operated by the anti-national agencies, by the people who are against the sovereignty, integrity of the country, those who are sitting outside, using propaganda to create war. And just now you see the mastermind of Nagpur case who has misquoted and edited the video chanting the religious nara, and because of this has happened. That was because he was given the safe harbor, the access to remove it as per edit is as per his own. Why the law should not follow? Number three, the court says that you have to follow the law. Delhi High Court to have categorically says to the WhatsApp, which is also one of the online platform, which says that you have to follow the law of the land. Why the Elon Musk is above the law? So no one can dictate the law in our country. Now courts have to take it. And now the other thing, it's a safe harbor protection. If you are claiming, then you have to follow the intermediary guidelines, the IT rules, because you're doing the business. You are running your company in this country, which is the largest database. And if you are earning thousands and thousands crores by advertising the agencies like Hamas, by then you must follow the law. Otherwise, your redressal grievance officer must face the consequences. This is the law, and you have to follow it. Over to you.
You're absolutely right. And Khushbu, is it a case of paucity of comprehension on how different countries could have different cyber laws in place to protect its citizens? Do you think this lawsuit, or rather this aggression that we are seeing on behalf of the X Corp, is stemming out of a lack of knowledge and comprehension of how the government has a responsibility to its people first?
See, I think we have gone much beyond that. It's the same Twitter, same X, which was Twitter, which was fighting against implementation of IT rules, which came in 2021, and the update which came in 2023, and then so many FIRs were being filed. One side, I'm absolutely agreeing with all the panelists before me that you want to claim for a safe harbor protection, and at the same time, you want to be called as intermediary, and at the same time, you want to be an active intermediary. And when I say active intermediary, as in for your business purposes, for your business benefits, you want to interfere with the algorithms, you want to amplify certain news, you want to take away certain news, you want to give a voice, you have advertisements. So practically you are no more an intermediary, which is just a platform. So when you're active intermediary, still you enjoy the platform, the safe harbor protection, but at the same time, you come in between implementation of a law of my country. And I'm saying why my country over here? One of the second largest registered users are from India. We are the second largest in the world. When you get so much of business, lack of knowledge of law or understanding of the law cannot be an excuse. Now you take it any other business. If I am opening a business in US, let's say a pharmaceutical company, would I not want to know the laws and rules and regulations and not want to go abide with the same rules and regulations? Or should I say that, no, in India we do it like that, so we're going to continue to do it with you also? No, we do understand the laws. We have to go with their rules and regulations. Why not the same thing when you're entering into Indian jurisdiction, having business from India, comply with those rules and regulations? And one is saying do not comply, but in case there is a difficulty, then that safe harbor would be taken away. Now I'm going on the point that we have to see what is happening today. What is happening today is social media platforms, there is a high exponential rate of people coming on these platforms and reliability on these platforms. And the same, that there is an increase in the crime rate utilizing this social media platform, and number of platforms have increased and number of volume of requests have increased from all law enforcement agencies. So law is in place. Implementation of the law is where this entire time plays a very crucial role, and that doesn't happen. Who is at a loss? The loss is for a user like you and me who do not get the justice despite having law in place. So all the government is trying to do is, after IT rules, bringing in this platform so that seamlessly each and every notified agency and law enforcement agencies can put in that request on that platform. All these platforms which are part of that portal can get that notification, can comply with that. If you don't want to comply, still do not comply, safe harbor would be taken away or there would be a procedure. But at least there would be a timely, systematic manner which will be transparent, which will be accountability from both the sides, from the platform side and also from our side, that what kind of requests are being sent by the law enforcement agencies. There would be that accountability and transparency and self. So here the benefit is to the citizen. Here there is a known fact, admitted fact by all of us, that the crime rate utilizing social media platform have increased exponentially. And because of this entire aspect of non-transparency or using freedom of speech and expression and right to privacy is giving a shield to criminals but nobody else. So why not a duty by platforms like X also should be that let me bring in a place which is safe for everybody, because at last this everybody is who I am earning from. And if you're not doing it, that is a responsibility of my state, that is my government, to protect me, to protect my rights, and to make sure that the laws which are in there, they are being implemented in a manner that should be. So I think this is something which should not be a point of discussion. And if somebody is doing that, please take away the safe harbor protection. Go ahead, let them be tried the way everybody else is tried.
Absolutely. Great points there, Khushbu. Sumit Peer, perhaps other countries who may feel intimidated by the influence and wealth that Elon Musk commands could learn a thing or two from India when it comes to relegating and conducting its social media platforms in a manner and in an MO which does not allow free speech in its absolute terms. That's exactly what Elon Musk wants. And let us also not forget, Sumit Peer, that had it not been for Elon Musk, had it not been for the kind of attention he would have given to Donald Trump through X, the results of the American elections could have been different. So, India understands the power that this platform holds. And let us also learn a few things from the kind of troubles and problems and legal troubles that we had to in fact endure with what was formerly known as Twitter.
Vineet, the connotation of the problem is very simple. India will be run by Indian laws, by the will of Indian people, by India's democratically elected government, right? And when I last checked, just hold on. My internet says Modi ji is still the Prime Minister and Ashwini Vaishnav is the Information Broadcasting Minister. I think it didn't change. So, okay. So I thought maybe somebody changed Elon Musk there, And ma'am, what you wanted to know, I think 13 kids and 4 wives. I just checked, by the way. So none of our business, but just, to put the things in perspective. Usually in a public broadcast, we should not leave anything to chance. Let people save the time of going to the Google. Look, Vineet, it's a typical case of entitlement. I remember it was around 1-2 years back. It was your channel when Elon Musk wanted to make a car in China and wanted Indian government to take out the import duty for him. His special car. He said, because without my car, your EV industry can't survive. You are gone on the EV race. Today, Tata, Mahindra, and all our local Desi manufacturers have taken over the market. Even when he comes to India at his price point, I don't think he can sell a car. Gone are those days. He tried to show us his tantrums, and it was NewsX. We had a very fiery debate here, and I also wrote an article in your sister publication, Sunday Guardian, explaining why he's doing this, because his sales in China had plummeted. It was on the behest of Chinese Communist Party. He wanted to fiddle with the Indian automobile market. That was his whole agenda. I gave all the fact figures and numbers. That's not important today. Mr. Musk has this entitlement. He has made a lot of money. Good for him. But everything works in a particular area. If you think you can come here, set the rules, I want to make a car in China, take off my import duty, I want to sell in India. I want to have a platform in India, but there should be no questions asked. Are you telling me, Mr. Musk, that we should let Indians die? Are you telling me that we should let our people, our security personnel on the border die? Do you think we should have a law and order situation where there's property arson and people are losing their lives and livelihoods? But we should not so-called intervene your absolute freedom of expression, which or platform, which is not an intermediary, because you have technical algorithms which are managing everything on the platform. Only a mailbox is an intermediary. If there's a box, we want to put a vote. When we put vote in a ballot box, there is no intermediary, there's no algorithm. That is, I will call as a kind of an open platform where nothing which intervenes between the box and the vote. But if you talk about a digital media, you must be kidding me. We all know algorithms. We all know how do they work. What are you telling me? It's an intermediary. It's not an intermediary. It's a platform. These all people should be treated as platforms, and whatever are the laws of platform should be applicable on that. And on that note, what Basmati ma'am made a very compelling point. She said, Elon Musk is very respectable to Chinese law. Chinese president, everything about China is very respectable. Last time he tried to utter a word, what did Chinese do to him? They said, all your cards have this belt key problem. He had to recall thousands and thousands of cards. Then when he kneeled down to the Chinese government, they said, okay, now the belt has no problem. This is how China sets the things right. So how do you people feel that in an autocratic setup, you do like this? When it comes to democratic system, you can use the courts, you can use the everything about the democracy to manipulate the system. That is what exactly Chinese think. Use your own courts, use your own democracy to bring down your own democracy. So that is what you are doing, because you think you can go to a court here, you can hire lawyers here. Let's go to the court and use the Indian law against the Indian. Let's see who wins.
Right, but you made a very good point. And Ambassador Mukherjee, in fact, taking a leaf out of what Sumit Peer said, perhaps Elon Musk is of the opinion that, because of his immense wealth, he can slither away through the cracks of the Indian legal system and somehow, do what he's been doing or how much he's earning in the rest of the world as well. But that's the big point. He cannot do something similar in China. They will shoot any of these inquiries down. They will shoot any of these legal proceedings down. In fact, China is very, very much contained when it comes to expression on social media.
I think he seems to be under the erroneous impression that we are a banana republic. We are a vigorous democracy, and that's why the Chinese, when they teach their kids in primary school, they always say, do you want to be like India? And then they give the answer, no. Why? Because in India, nobody listens to anyone, everybody is shouting at everyone, there is total confusion, etc. They are very sadly mistaken. In that democracy of ours, there is rule of law, and that rule of law always prevails. That is why Mrs. Indira Gandhi ultimately had to recall the emergency. The democracy functions. And I would like to ask Elon Musk, would he permit anti-Semitic material on X? No, he would not. Would he be in favor of deporting Indian students who on their mobile phones have reportedly said that they support what is happening to what Hamas is doing in the Gaza Strip? He would not. But I could argue then that in that case, how is he justifying freedom of expression? He is accepting that freedom of expression comes with responsibility, which is what we are saying. We are saying every freedom in our constitution comes with a responsibility. And as John Stuart Mill himself said, he says, my liberty ends when it impinges on the liberty of my neighbor. That is how it was defined in the 19th century by the originator of the freedom of liberty and freedom of speech. So, Mr. Elon Musk, I don't know what his educational qualifications are. Maybe Sumit can Google that for me while I'm talking, since he's Googled about his children and his parents. But whatever his educational qualifications are, he should educate himself on what a democracy with rule of law means. It means exactly the same as in the United States. In the United States, if he transgresses too much, he will find himself in very big trouble. And that is precisely why the French government has said that the Statue of Liberty, the iconic Statue of Liberty, which is on the waterfront of New York City, should be sent back to France because it no longer represents the liberty on the basis of which the French people after their revolution sent it to the United States after the American Revolution. Because he is interpreting liberty according to his business whims and fancies. But liberty is not whimsical. Liberty is not business transactional. Liberty is exactly the way Mr. Ashwini Dubey defined it for us. Liberty is based on rule of law. And rule of law does not change according to the face of the person who is trying to exercise the law. It's the same for everybody. And so therefore, I think Mr. Musk will have some very hard lessons to learn. There may be cracks in our legal system. There are cracks in every legal system. But our legal system is something that is highly respected globally. Our lawyers are respected globally. Our judges are respected globally. There is balance of power in India, which is much better than the so-called balance of power now being exercised in the United States under the American Constitution. So I think, Vineet, that Mr. Musk has many hard lessons coming to him as far as India is concerned. Vineet.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. We've run out of time, but appreciate everybody who voiced in and took out the time to speak to us. We'll take a short break now. Be right back.